Hello, my name is Christian Arno. I'm the founder of Paw Print. I'm talking to you from our Edinburgh spare room. And my intention here is to let you know a little bit about why we've built Paw Print, our movement to help people do their bit to fight climate change, what it is, both for individuals and for businesses, and then also share a wee bit about how you might get involved. So I've got a background in business. I built a translation business for almost 17 years, moved into a non-exec role, and then decided that I really wanted to focus all my energies on doing something that would address climate change. And I was looking around for a way in which people could, I guess I personally could measure, understand, and reduce my carbon footprint. And I couldn't find anything that made it easy. There have been for a long time carbon footprint calculators, but once you've got a number, and sometimes that process of getting to that number, how do you then take the small steps that we all need to make to move towards a low carbon future? It wasn't straightforward, and yet we've got so much progress in technology in terms of apps that can support you as you want to make improvements, whether it's to do with your mental health, your financial health, your physical health, and so on. So I thought there was a real gap there. What then happened was I got together a group of people in and around Edinburgh, and we started to talk about how this product could look. I got in touch with Mike Berners-Lee. Where's Mike's book? Here we go. How Bad Are Bananas? It's a fantastic book that helps you understand the carbon footprint of every element of your life and many of the other things that we're involved in society. And Mike Berners-Lee agreed to become our scientific advisor. So now a lot of the data that we use to inform people about their carbon footprints when they go through the Paw Print app comes from him, and also the challenges, because I think it's really important for people to have a number that they can work on. If you know what your number is, then you can quantify the relative impact and value of making changes, some of which may be more convenient than others. And I think what we wanted also was to give people a service that was personalized. So based on the location in which you live, or how well off you are, and indeed other constraints, we wanted a service that was going to allow people to make the changes that were right for them. Once we got Mike on board, we already had some interest from investors, and we got 50 angel investors to invest about £580,000 at that point in Paw Print. Some extremely well-known names, people who have backed the likes of Amazon, Shopify, Tesla in their professional lives, investing in us personally. Some successful entrepreneurs, many in Scotland, but many from throughout the UK and internationally, and then successful business execs as well. Built a really strong team, people who have been involved as leaders in entrepreneurial businesses or as senior execs in growth businesses, because this is a climate crisis that we're trying to take on. It's a climate emergency. We need to move fast. And as Mike Berners-Lee says in his other book, There's No Planet B, we really need to get the brightest minds working on the world's biggest problems. And that's what I'm trying to do with the team here at Paw Print, now up to 14. So we set about building the products, which I'm going to show you shortly. We used a third party to do that. But we all had always, I guess, respected companies who'd done crowdfunding and built a sense of movement in that way around their business. Brewdog, for example, I'd bought a small amount of shares as an equity punk several years ago, and seen what a positive effect that had on my relationship with the brand, willingness to evangelize, willingness to forgive them if there were things I didn't like so much about what they did. And on a topic like climate change, where we all need to come together and do our bit, do what's right for us, ideally in a non-judgmental way, I felt crowdfunding was a good way to go. And so we did our first crowdfunding exercise on Crowdcube just at the beginning of lockdown. So there was a big question mark about whether we should actually go ahead with it, given people's minds were elsewhere. But I got an email from a friend of mine who is not an investor and doesn't have a lot of money, but who wanted to put £10 in, saying, I really think you should go ahead because I want something to believe in. I want something to give me hope. And that's what we did. We will also be launching a further crowdfunding exercise in November for anyone who's interested in that. So please do sign up at pawprint.eco if you're interested. And we got over 1,000 people to invest at that stage. So clearly the idea of a tool that allows people to measure, understand, and reduce their carbon footprint at its core, but that does that in a nice community-oriented way, a non-judgmental way, and builds that sense of community spirit that we've seen through the pandemic crisis as part of it, resonated with people. So we've now launched the consumer application. You can have a shot of it at pawprint.eco. And we've launched also our Pioneers program. And with the Pioneers program, we're working with a small number of businesses. Brewdog are the first ones actually to sign up. So that sort of came full circle. And we've got some large businesses who want to work with us on how they can engage their people on sustainability. So I'll walk you through the product as it stands today, and then we can have a think about what that business product might be and what the things are that will make a difference. So without further ado, here goes. This is a sample question that you might find within the Paw Print application. So we ask people a few questions, usually with these sliders to make it nice and easy to do on a mobile. And these are all questions that have an impact on either your paw print, the number that you're going to get out, which is your carbon footprint, or the advice that we might give you on an ongoing basis to show how you can make a difference. So I've picked an example here I thought was relevant to everyone, which is air freighted and hot housed food. If food gets air freighted in, that has a significant impact on its carbon footprint. And where we use energy to heat greenhouses to grow fruit and vegetables, that also has an impact. So here you can see that we ask people to indicate how often they eat these different foods. And we've got a little bit of information on these tooltips so people can understand the significance of the question. So I'm just using this to update my answer. In true Blue Peter style, I have already done all of this. So I'm just going to skip through all these questions and take you into the next section of Paw Print. Sorry, this is taking slightly longer. Final question there about food waste, another important thing. And we can then return to our Paw Print, and you can see that mine is 13.5 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. And that is above the average, I'm embarrassed to say, but I am working hard on it. We've also taken on board the feedback from people that not many people really know what carbon dioxide equivalent is. Since I'm on the topic, it's not just carbon dioxide, but all the other greenhouse gases rolled up into an aggregated number. And it's widely used as a standard for the single number that can best explain to people what their overall impact is. It's far from perfect. So for example, battery hen eggs will have a lower carbon footprint than free range eggs, but it's a good overall measure, and it helps us all to quantify where we're at. What we've done in addition though to giving people this number in carbon dioxide equivalent is giving them an equivalent in terms that they may be able to relate to better. So for example, driving in this case, or traveling by car. We may add to this in future to allow people to, who don't drive, to relate to it better in terms of light bulbs or other things, but another way of understanding, this currency, I guess. And you can see that your paw print also encompasses the various different toe prints. So you can see here we've got diet, red meat, dairy and waste, typically the largest components here. We've got the impact of home. And so, the measures that people need to take have been widely publicized, but we try and support people making sure that those things are actually happening. Travel, a big one for many of us, especially those of us who fly and use cars a lot. Also a lot of embedded carbon just in buying a car. So, if you were to listen to the media, you might think that all of us shifting immediately to an electric car was the right thing to do. But I think what the data seems to show is that it very much depends on how much you use the car. And if you can use your existing car less, and run it for a long time, that may well be the lowest carbon thing to do. We've then got your this other spending and other category, and that includes really everything else, all the other services that we're all part of that don't fit into the other categories. As you go down, you can see a little bit more detail. So if I look into my diet area, I can see that my air freighted food is quite a significant contributor for me, whereas I'm doing quite well on food waste. So that helps a lot with the analysis, and you can go into every section as you like. So that's the first section of Paw Print, how you measure your carbon footprint, how you understand what's going on. But obviously that's just the first step, and we all need to work out what are the right steps for us. So what we've got at the moment is a system of challenges. So with challenges, you can filter these to look at challenges that maybe fit with other lifestyle goals you have. So you might want to be saving money, but you might also love meat. So what's that going to throw up? Let's have a look. Unsurprisingly, we've got some challenges here around giving vegan a try. So that challenges you to go vegan for 1 month. We're going to be working it, and it gives you the impact of that. You would then accept that challenge, and you would mark progress if you were ready to do that, although we won't do that right now. Okay. Sorry, I'm used to working on this on a mobile. And then we've got a range of other challenges that you can filter as you see fit using these different filters here. You can also sort them according to home, travel, diet, and here you've got this other section. We've got over 200 impact graded challenges available here. So there's something for everyone. We're adding to it all the time, and we're going to make it possible for people to add their own challenges as well. Once you're doing those challenges, you're rewarded with Paw Points. Now, Paw Points are our currency, and at the moment, so in time, we expect that you'll be able to use them to redeem them against low carbon products, services, and activities. But for now, we're using them supermarket style for people to vote for the carbon friendly cause that they most believe in. So at the moment, we've got Trees for Cities, Sustrans, and the WWF's Adopt a Polar Bear scheme. So the way this works is you go in, you read a little bit about it, and then you decide how many of your Paw Points you want to donate to that organisation. And what we do with that is that we then divide up £1,000 at the moment proportionately to the different charities. Back to the dashboard, and you can see what the current challenges are that you're taking on. You can see your Paw Print, and you can invite a friend. And once you've done it for a time, you can track your Paw Print so that you can see what's really making a difference and potentially share that with a friend as well. This is very much the beta version of Paw Print. We're developing it fast. We're going to be launching, maybe by the time you see this, we will have groups functionality to allow people to work on challenges together, whether that's at home, at work, or in other communities. And we're going to be launching a lot of functionality to make it more engaging for people, because obviously this is a big challenge, and we need to make sure that people are engaged for the long term. I said I'd talk about Paw Print for Business. So we launched the Pioneers program with Brewdog, whereby businesses are able to engage their people on sustainability. And at the moment, it's going to be run like a service called Virgin Pulse, through which businesses can arrange their people into teams, and then those teams will work together to achieve certain goals. And we're doing that on people's personal carbon footprints as we speak. So Brewdog have already rolled it out to their people with a view to offsetting, actually double offsetting the paw prints of their people and their dogs. That's their way of doing it. Different businesses will use it in different ways, but certainly that idea that teams within businesses will work together collaboratively and potentially competitively to do their bit to reduce their carbon footprints is core to it. We're also going to allow them to work on their business paw prints. So the not necessarily going into the detail of how an entire business's carbon footprint works, its supply chain and that, but the people elements to it. So how do people in the business travel, and how do they source their energy for work? And if there's a canteen, what are the dietary options that are available, that sort of thing as well. So quantitatively on travel things, but also looking at other qualitative things. So how do they rank their business on a scale of Donald to Greta? Do they rank that business as being one that is truly doing everything it can to be a responsible low carbon company, or is it more at the sort of Donald Trump area of end of the scale of denying that climate change is that big a deal? And then why would they rank their company like that? And what should the business stop, start, and keep doing? And we think that if businesses are able to aggregate that information on a regular basis, they'll be able to show reports to show that all their efforts are really positive. Another element to the business application is going to be what we're calling eyes and ears. So the opportunity for everybody in the business to submit their ideas, the things that they see that the business could do to be lower carbon. So in an example like a Brewdog, it might be that somebody in their York bar notices that there's an opportunity to make the provision for low carbon travel, maybe cycling better, or to make low carbon dietary options better, or the way that the bar uses energy. And those sorts of examples will happen in every business. I guess that comes back to the ethos of Paw Print, which is all about empowering the individual to do their bit in the fight against climate change in every different area of their life. And we think that the platform can help the individual to be better informed and to make decisions that are right for them, but also to amplify their impact in the various different communities that they're part of, whether that's just at home in the family unit, or in the local community, or at work, or in much wider. So we've just today actually announced a partnership with a football club here in Scotland, Heart of Midlothian. We're on their sleeve. Our polar bear mascot, Bjorn the bear, is on their sleeve, and that's all about bringing an understanding and scientifically valid information about what makes a difference to a new audience, because this whole challenge, it's time, as is the topic of this conference, and it's time for everyone to come together in a way that is non-judgmental, that's community oriented, that feels good, and that is a broad church. So I've probably talked enough about Paw Print now. I'm on panels and going to be involved in this conference, so looking forward to engaging with you. But I'd encourage everyone to follow us on social media at Paw Print Eco. You can also sign up for the app. It's completely free at pawprint.eco. Any businesses who are interested in engaging their people on sustainability and would like to engage with us, that information is also on our website. And just like to say a big thank you for your attention, and look forward to engaging with you in the rest of the conference. Thanks. Bye now.